What's up, Capricorn gang? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. My name is Annie. We're going to read your tarot cards. This will be a reading geared slightly more towards Capricorn rising, but of course Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Venus signs. You are all welcome to join. Cross watchers, what's up? Happy to have you. Let's get to some insightful messages, messages that motivate, empower, inspire you. Please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, and if you're not feeling inspired or excited about something in this reading, it might not be for you. It may resonate at a later date, so just again be open-minded to that. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Let's try to have some fun and get you some helpful messages. That's my goal, my aim here today. Remember to like the video, guys, subscribe to my channel, and if you want to book a personal, just shoot me an email. We'll get you squared away. Here we go. We're going to do it for Capricorn. Capricorn. Starting off with the Tower. All right. Don't freak out. I'm going to help you through it. The Tower isn't always negative. It totally depends on the context and what's around it. Got the Wheel of Fortune coming up in your house of travel. So is anyone doing international travel? Is anybody spending a lot of money or time on furthering their education, courses of study? Mental travel, right? Digging, especially with Mercury there, digging much deeper into wider concepts, philosophies, languages, courses of study. That may end up being a focus for you in the coming months or so. And there's a lot of action and energy available to you there, so might be worth considering, even if that is a little bit of a foreign message, pun intended, to you right now. That may make sense soon. For those who are single and looking, especially if you are interested in males, you may meet someone abroad or overseas. All right, random messages. Here we go. There's someone. There's someone who has not been telling the truth, and they're about to be revealed. They're hiding something. Like, I don't do fear-based messages, but like I'm going to be honest with you, and if it's not your message, it's not your message. This card has a really weird connotation because this guy who's like involved in some sort of, deal or negotiation, he's hiding something behind his back, right? So instantly I'm like, who's that and what's he hiding? I don't think it's you. I think it's someone you're dealing with. I also think if this makes sense for you, without me saying any more, I think you instantly know who this is. Like I'm going to keep going, but if I were to stop there, most of my Capricorns out there, you've already had a sneaking suspicion of this for possibly months now. So I just want to calm you with that. I don't see this coming out of nowhere. I see actually this coming out in the open very, very soon. The reason why I'm like, you guys are good because you already know this. You've already adjusted your expectations of this person accordingly in case they were to drop a bomb on you, and I think that's what this is. Anyway. The reason why I'm like, oh, you know exactly what's up is because you have the High Priestess coming up in your 8th house. So the High Priestess is an insanely intuitive card anyway. She's very in tune with nature, with spirituality. There's like the priestess, right? I don't have to say much more. The fact that it's showing up in your 8th house is like you've had a pulse on this for like, I know this sounds crazy, but like in other lifetimes, you've dealt with this person and they're repeating a karmic lesson because they keep doing it in this lifetime. Yeah, like there's a really badass vibe to this High Priestess too, where I see you, I'm almost getting the metaphor of like talking shit through your teeth. Or I know that sounds gross, but what I mean is like, that thing you're like, oh, hi, how are you? Like, fuck you, you fucking, like, do you know what I mean? Like you're putting on the guise, but you know this person's plays, and like you see it coming a mile away. I don't know why that's important. It is coming out that 7th house of partnerships and contracts. My gut reaction is this probably isn't like a romantic partner of yours because there's multiple parties dealing here. This is very likely someone who you're in contract with or someone you work with at a more professional level. If you do think it's your spouse and you've been thinking this for years, then okay, maybe examine it further. I'm not saying this tarot reading is going to cause a divorce, right? That's not what I'm saying. If it's not that, it could be someone around you where if you're very like protective of them and you don't trust someone they're doing business dealings with, and you've always had a very keen sensibility about that. If you haven't vocalized it, now might be a good time. Because I will say the one thing about the High Priestess, she's insanely intuitive. She's a channel of communication, but she's also what's called like the secret woman or the silent one. So again, if there's, I would just say there's a need for this to be put out on the table. And maybe the timeline of it isn't entirely up to you, but if it is, I see this coming to a head in the coming week or two. If it hasn't already, maybe some of you know exactly what this is and you're dealing with sort of the, the settling of the ashes or whatever you want to call it. That's an odd message to start with. You got me there, but I feel like I wanted to relay that. And yeah, this person, this is so drama. It's like this person, the shady one, has no idea that you know what you know. Because here's the thing, you may have caught them in the act, whatever that is, doing it with someone else, and you're like, oh, I see how they operate. They're going to pull that shit with me now. And I feel like you have your motives for not revealing it. And I don't really know why, and I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm almost hesitating to comment on that because I feel like the High Priestess is even saying, like, you guys, you Capricorns or whatever you are out there watching, you know something deeper that I don't about this, and so you may have a very good reason why it's mum's the word. And I mean, it is coming into your tarot reading. I do want to go back to that one last comment I made about, well, if it's a friend or a family or a sibling or someone you care about and you know, why wouldn't you say something at least to give them a heads up that they're dealing with someone? But maybe it's not appropriate. Maybe you have and they didn't listen to you. Again, like, there's stuff I don't know, so I'm just giving you my interpretation of this. What is the greater reason I'm being told to tell you this? I'm going to figure that out right now, so give me 1 second. It's going to make someone's decision easier. If you're deciding between romantic partners, and I would say long-term romantic partners, like, that's why I don't totally get this, because anyway, I'm just going to keep going. Or you're dealing with, if you're in a job where you sign, long-term contracts, but you negotiate for them first, it's almost like you're on the fence of two, and yet you're not, because you know that someone's cheating you or scamming you, and it's almost like you're keeping them in the running for your own amusement. That's a beautiful way of putting it. There's something funny about this to you because you can't wait to call them out on it, but you're not rushing to it. It's like you're allowing them to make their own bed so that they have to lay in it later. Capricorn, holy cannoli. What is this? Some of you are going to have absolutely. Some of you are going to have a very unexpected opportunity to travel long distance. And it may involve needing to tend to property. If you have properties in multiple areas, you may get some sort of unexpected call, like, I don't know. I don't mean to, again, this is not to instill fear, but just the first idea or example I have is, like, if you have property and it's in some sort of location that is, there's a lot of unpredictable weather patterns or fires or whatever, tsunamis. I don't know what it is. There's something about it's in some sort of, like, unusual climate or location where there's an urgency to go towards it and fix it or repair property damages. But it would be at quite a distance from you. I don't think this is something where it's like an hour down the road. Like, it's not like, I don't know. I don't know why that's coming through. Anyway, I got lost in that storyline. I want to finish the scamming one out. Yeah, this person is sitting pretty. Whoever you're dealing with thinks they have it made because they've pulled a fast one on you or your company or this or that. Like, they are resting easy and they're so proud of themselves, but they don't know, like, I apologize for the language, but it's funny, but there's just something about your energy where it's like, oh, I'm going to get you so bad, motherfucker. Like, you don't even know. The High Priestess in this, like, I would not F with this bitch. Like, she knows exactly what's up. And whether you're male or female Capricorn, I do think that's you. If it's not, if you're this guy, I'm gonna tell you, you're not getting away with it. Like the law is going to come down. A huge part of Capricorn's trajectory, because you're ruled by Saturn, is understanding limits and respecting authority. I'm not saying every Capricorn agrees with that, but more or less, if you have, up until this point in your life, followed a pattern of being super rebellious and doing it this way and thinking like, oh, I never got caught so I can keep doing it, that karma is catching up with you. That's what I even said too. Like, this is someone who's been repeating it multiple lifetimes, like in multiple cycles. Again, I'm not blaming you. I'm not saying it's you. My gut reaction is that it's not you, but if it is, you know that this is your reading and someone knows. You're not as sneaky as you think you are. Just putting it out there, Capricorns. Why am I telling you this though? Like, I'm struggling to pick up where this is. Okay. I hate silence, but I have to do it to you because I have to figure this out. I have a feeling this might be connected to someone that you just dislike, or you feel like there was an injustice done. It may not have been done directly to you, but either you think that there's almost like an element of they get away with it, so I can't wait to see them not. It might just be purely like spectacle and the entertainment of it. But I also feel like there's a deeper meaning that you may not even be consciously aware of. And I know this is a little bit heady and like trippy for like a quick tarot reading, but it's almost like you've connected with this person in a past lifetime and they did pull one past you. So there's just something very satisfying of seeing this person get caught or experience the limitations that are about to be imposed on them. That's the best I can describe it. This may be a friendship too. This may even be someone who's connected to your siblings or someone who hurt your siblings. It could be an ex-boyfriend, an ex-girlfriend of a sibling. It could be, there might be a connection to family. You're done with it though. This person doesn't serve any purpose in your life anymore. They don't bring value. In fact, they may have been the initiator of a lot of mess and drama in your circle of friends or again your family. And so I don't know, I'm repeating it, but it's like you're gonna let this person make their bed and then they have to lay in it, and they're I don't know if this is good or bad. It's a very Capricorn message. There's a coldness to you where you're like, I just don't care. Like the queen of emotions, you're just like, I got nothing for you. Like, I am not sympathetic at all, Capricorn. Queen of Cups, you're just like, well, you did this to yourself. Like, I can't even say it with a straight face because it's so cold-hearted. Anyway, we're going to move on. I know that was random, you guys. I don't know why that's significant, but I said it, so I did my due diligence there. Let's move on to something else. In terms of dating, if you're single and looking, again, foreigners, someone, and so even if it's not overseas, you may connect with someone romantically who is of a different, any sort of background, religious, different ethnic background, a different, fill in the blank, something that is foreign to you and your, shouldn't say traditional upbringing, even, it could be political, right? You may end up dating someone who has a very different background story than you, and that's amazing because it means you can learn something from each other. I think a lot of times we get caught up in wanting to date people who are just like us and we have so much in common, and sometimes those relationships don't last because there's not enough to keep it going. You gotta add fuel to the fire, you gotta add oxygen to the fire, right, to keep it growing. Knowledge, information, discussion, communication. I actually like that a lot. And that may come very unexpectedly. Even if if you are single and looking or kind of sort of dating, this may come like a bat out of hell, and it kind of just like, where did you come from? Now we're on date 5 and I only have known you for 2 weeks, or you know what I mean? It's expedited. There's some Mars energy there. So it may have to do with someone who has a lot of Mars in their chart, maybe an Aries, maybe a Scorpio, maybe a Sagittarius. Really doesn't even matter. It just looks really nice to me. I can't comment on the long term of it because I think it's something that you're going, well, like any relationship, you're going to discover more about this person the more you hang out. So I guess the only advice or counsel I would give on that, based on what the cards are saying, is if you go on a date with them and it's sort of like lukewarm, like it wasn't bad, but you're like, maybe, I would give it another chance. I wouldn't jump to, it wasn't love at first sight, probably not for me. Again, I would say that's very healthy. Love at first sight is something that is tremendously overrated. So again, if any of this makes sense, if you're like, yeah, they were cool, like I don't know if they liked me, go out with them again, find out. You know what I mean? Really encouraging that because you have some very strong cards there. And be open to unexpected surprises. And that may contradict your desire or need for control or planning or having like a set routine. I get it, very like Saturnian stuff, if that makes sense. There's something that's going to shake you up about this, but it's a very good thing. It's going to liberate you from something you thought you needed, and it may have actually been a handicap, or it may have been do you understand what I mean? Something maybe hindering your ability to like kind of go after it with that kind of zest you need. This person contradicts you in a beautiful way that allows you both to grow. And it's mutual. You do that for this person too. Ooh, I love that. That looks great. Yeah, I mean, I hate to be a buzzkill. The whole thing about like long-term partnerships, if you're already dating or in a marriage, someone's just not being honest and forward with something, but it's the same message. Let's not jump to infidelity. This could be a lot of things, you guys. This could be someone who's a recovering alcoholic, but they're getting back into the bottle. It could be something like that, and you know it, but you're not addressing it. And I'm not sure if it's for all those malicious things or not malicious, but that whole like, do you understand what I mean? Like your pleasure and enjoyment is seeing themselves dig themselves a deeper grave. If it's someone you love, that's a huge red flag to me, that you can't have open and honest communication. Whatever this is, though, it is going to come to a head. So if you love this person, if you want to be with this person, I would address this sooner than later. Because again, you have a pulse on what's going on. And I don't mean for this to be condescending or demeaning, but why are you... Okay. Is it denial? Are you not wanting to address it because you're not ready to believe it's true? And that especially makes sense to me if it is someone you deeply love and you deeply care about. If there's something either self-destructive or you know they're hiding from you, but I don't know, it's almost like you're justifying it in some way. Like, well, I want them to be, comfortable to come to me with it. I don't want to have to initiate it. I'm not sure that's an option. I'm just going to be honest with you. I see the universe really, really asking you to initiate this. We have to remember, this is Mars energy. Mars is like the warrior, the athlete, the coach. He blows the whistle and it's like off to the races. That's what you're being asked to do in regards to this. I don't know what this is. I don't know. I'm tempted to try and connect with a new group of you because I know that's not everybody's story. It's so specific, but if Capricorn is in a long-term partnership, what can I tell them here? So, okay, someone may have lost a job and they haven't told you, or been demoted, or it's like pay is being withheld from them and they don't want to tell you. Because maybe they're afraid of your judgment, maybe they're afraid of your reaction, but that's what I mean. It's like you already know. You already know what this is. I don't know what this is, so I'm just letting you know it's coming up in the tarot cards, so usually that means you got to deal with it. You can't hide it, you can't avoid it much longer. It might involve a Sagittarius who's feeling isolated. It might involve a child who feels like they're being ignored or this child so desperately needs love and attention and affection, but they're afraid to ask for it. And they don't feel like they're getting it from either a Sagittarius or a maternal figure. Or whoever you view as someone who, this is a conundrum in itself, who you view, I think, as someone who is meant to mentor you or provide you some sort of emotional support. You may have to ask for it. And I don't necessarily think that's right. I don't necessarily think that's fair, but pun intended, like those are the cards you've been dealt. So rather than falling into tough love, are you ready for this, Capricorn? Victimhood, poor me. I'm not disagreeing with you. That sucks that you may have a parent who isn't there for you emotionally. However, it is up to you how you choose to respond to that. And if you're going to open up the channels of communication for Why aren't you there for me? Do you even love me? Like that kind of thing. And maybe that's all this is. Maybe you've been keeping a secret from a parent that you have a lot of anger issues. Maybe that needs to come out in a very healthy, cathartic way, rather than like holding those feelings back, holding them behind your back, and hoping you guys can just get along and everything is tra-la-la, all good. Or the opposite, where you're just stone cold. You're just like, this is, whoever this is my mother, this is my child, this is my father, and I just don't love them. That's sort of what I mean. So these are connected. Of course, the details will differ between some of you, but there's something about a neglected child. So if you have children, I would check in with them. I would make sure that mentally, physically, spiritually, they're doing okay. They might be hiding from something from you because they don't want to embarrass you, because they don't want to wound you, because they themselves are embarrassed or shy, or I don't know. There's something that could be potentially damaging and they don't want to share it with you. Or they're holding years of childhood wounds and damages, and it needs to be expressed in some sort of healthy way. If this isn't a parent-child dynamic, I will say my other interpretation of this is going to some sort of healer, but more of like a metaphysical healer. Do you see why I'm saying that? Not to say you can't go to a therapist or psychiatric type stuff. You don't do it. Absolutely. Put your mental health first and foremost. But there may be more of a untraditional way of healing something that you may be looking at from a very, God, what is the word? Earthly, again, Capricorn, that makes sense to me, like a very earthly, tangible way. I feel sick, so I need to go to a doctor. Universe may be saying, you feel sad that your parents didn't express love. You need to go to something a little bit, I'm not saying don't go to a doctor. I'm saying you might need to be more creative in your solution, simply because that might not be your only answer. You may have multiple paths you could travel with this, and if what's preventing you from getting that help is, I don't want to go to a psychotherapist, is it something an astrologer, just for example, could help you work through? Or a friend? Or do you understand what I mean? There's creative solutions to how you can deal with this. So if you're suffering in silence, Capricorn, there are many avenues in which you could heal this. That's really what this card is. This is Temperance, healing. Whew, God, I'm putting you through the ringer, aren't I? All right, positive messages. What else do I got for you? There's an Aries showing up at your house. You may get visited by an Aries. A father figure, a very masculine energy. I don't know. They may be dropping by your house. They may even bring you a gift or a present. They might be an absent father or an absent male, or I don't know. It could be like an estranged brother or uncle. It's a very masculine energy. Yeah, it's like they're dropping by, and I think they're doing it unexpectedly. Why? Because they want to heal something with you. It could even be an ex. It could be an ex-husband too that you feel some type of way about, and I don't think it's a good type of way. Interesting. Ooh, I have such an interesting combination here. Hold on. This is absolutely serving a purpose. And again, I always want to underscore, these are not fear-based readings. Like, don't be like, oh my God, my ex is going to come by my house. No, probably not then. Like, it's not about fear. If you're taking away nothing but like fear out of this tarot reading, you're using the tarot reading wrong. It's not about that. This is just trying to share helpful messages so that you can maybe get a game plan together or work through some shit that you're trying to work through. So then I have all these deep messages, right? And then I get really random ones that are like almost like ridiculous. Like you may get asked out by, again, like, I don't mean to make this a gender thing. It just simply is. Sometimes I'm told to relay it's a male. Someone who comes by for like a construction deal or a construction progress or construction project, construction progress, that came out for a reason. Or something about a contract for the house. And you may end up going out with them or falling in love with them. That could be if you're dating someone who works in construction or housing, realty, rentals, land, property. That may be a romantic connection. And I don't know. You may be repeating a pattern again, it has to do with childhood stuff. And it's not necessarily bad childhood stuff, but who you date may mirror a lot of the things about your mother or your father or the relationship you had with them. This person this is a different thing about like the ex dropping by your house with an apology. Yeah, there's two different messages here. So, take it or leave it. There's also possibility for marriage, again, overseas or foreigners. I'm going to stick with that because it might not be someone you meet overseas, but with a different upbringing than you. There's a really like spiritual emphasis on the spiritual, possibly religious, whatever word you want to use, connection with that. I do have like what I would call like a divine pairing, and this is just really cool to me. Like the way these two are looking at each other. Not only do they match in terms of the major arcana essentially has an equivalent of like king and queen. So the emperor and the empress. Here it's like the high priest and the high priestess. Something about these two, not only do they want to collaborate, but they're literally like looking at each other and mimicking the same acts. I just like that. Do you see how like they're both mixing their little spiritual potions or whatever that's supposed to represent, right? I almost think it's like a merging, and something about it showing up in your houses of spirituality. It's showing up, the way I read these cards anyway, in your 8th and 12th. So similar connections to almost scorpionic 8th house stuff. Similar Piscean to the 12th, not exactly the same, but similar concepts, ideas. Again, it's like of a higher vibration, it's of a higher mind. You have very spiritual figures showing up in spiritual houses. So there may be a tremendous important placed upon faith or religion. Some of you, if you're in a relationship that mimics that, there may be an Aries child born. Or a Taurus or a Cancer. I don't know. This just seems cool. I don't really know what to do with it, but I like it. Has to do with ancestors and generational stuff. Why am I being told to tell Capricorn this? You may change your mind about a career after meeting this person. Okay, if this isn't a romantic partnership, this could... Okay, for those who are seeking alternative methods of healing, I think that's what it is. You may connect with some sort of mentor who really changes your ideas about something. I'm hearing the word systemic. Something that you've been brought up in or brought up to believe. You have a very healthy, open conversation, an honest, truthful, emotional, I said it, Capricorn, conversation with someone, and it's almost like they clear the toxins out of your body just simply by having that discussion. You may change your diet. You may realize... almost in metaphor, you've been drinking the poison, or there's something, and that might just be like, that could mean a million different things. You may be eating something that is bad for your dietary needs, something that you have an allergy to or a sensitivity to. Somehow by connecting with a mentor, yeah, that's important, you guys, or a dietitian, or whoever this is, there's something about taking something out of your diet that's going to promote more wellness in your life, and it's going to be a game changer. It's about returning to your body and treating it like your temple. And not only that, the metaphor of you've been drinking the poison or whatever, you've been ingesting or absorbing like a sponge, something that you're being told to like wring it out. That's not true. You don't need that. It's not healthy for you. And that may be conditioning from your childhood. Something that a parent or a grandparent or an ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, sibling once told you. Or do you understand what I mean? There's something you've absorbed and you've held on to it so long, you didn't even realize it wasn't yours to begin with. And it may have to do with money, career, or a father figure. Just putting it out there. Yeah, the apple. That makes me think of Snow White, right? Isn't it the poison apple? Adam and Eve, romantic partnership. Adam's apple, the male figure. I don't know. I hate to be so like rudimentary, but almost like daddy issues. That may stem from something much deeper than you realized. And the reason why it's coming up here is because once you heal that, it is life-changing. It's like you feel like you feel like a new person. Your body physically reacts to like exorcising that repressed emotion or that, I don't know what it is, you guys, but it's like It's like a cleansing. It's like a spiritual cleanse. I know. It sounds pretty heady and crazy, but, you know, hopefully it helps somebody. All right, last but not least, we'll finish off here. So you have a full moon in your second house if you are a Capricorn rising, bear in mind. And not all of you will be, and that's okay. This may or may not resonate. You have a full moon happening in your second house of money, income, value, and also very much about your self-worth. Something about your self-worth is tied to, again, like this ingesting of a poison, or it's not literally that. I want to be very clear when I say that too. Again, this is not about fear. This is about what are you doing? What habit are you practicing? What belief have you been carrying where you've never really thought to examine where it came from? You know, you were born into a family that practiced Catholicism, you know, and you're just like, this is the way. But is it though? Question what's around you. I guess that's all I'm saying with that message. Anyway, I do think in this full moon may have to do with reclaiming your power back. If part of your power was diminished or given away or taken away, whatever that means to you, this full moon may have a lot to do with your sense of self, your sense of identity, and I just want to say reclaiming your power. Working on healthier practices in your daily routine, your mental health, especially your wellness, and again, who's feeding these thoughts? Are you? This is like such a dumb thing to say, but it's almost like, are you the puppet or the puppet master? Because I almost get in a sense, especially related to a family dynamic, you were the puppet for so long, you never learned that you could pull the strings yourself. I know it's a weird way of saying it, but I'm literally seeing like marionette puppets. And something about this shady figure who's either hiding something or not saying something, that's going to come to light and put somebody in a really awkward position. I think it's for the better. It may not feel like it at the time, but it's what was always meant to be. And I just keep wanting to say there's some reaction in you where it's like you have a new lease on life, or you start to consider something in a very different way than you had ever thought before. This Seven of Cups, I really like. A lot of times Seven of Cups can be getting really lost in emotions or being so overwhelmed by options we don't know what choice to make. You might be feeling that, but I would say in the coming weeks, there starts to be a very real inclination of what you should choose and having a very good reason why, and there's no need to question your intuition. You know it to be true because you feel it, and so it's like you're being guided to make this decision. Have faith. This is like a badass card, and it's coming up in terms of like untapped power that exists within you. So whatever you practice for faith or spirituality, I would like meditate on what this High Priestess card is, because there's insight available to you. It exists within you already. It's just getting it out. But yeah, it seems like this could be really big. All right, Capricorn, I hope I didn't confuse anyone. This was a bit of a heavy one, but I actually really enjoyed it, so I hope you did too. Let me know in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to my channel if you would be so kind, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.